What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Austin Show. Today we're looking at the McFarlane DC Multiverse, what I'm calling Justice League Dark figures. So we have Frankenstein as a mega fig, so he is huge. You can definitely see size comparison compared to Deadman here. But we have Frankenstein from the DC universe, so he looks awesome. So it's supposed to be like actual Frankenstein, just, he wears more clothes and fits in part of groups and stuff. So pretty cool to have that Frankenstein, especially in as big of a figure as we got here. And then we also have Deadman, which is pretty cool. And of course we'll go into the backstory of them and stuff, but he just looks awesome with his all red suit and then his dead looking face and some of the effects he comes with, and he is a gold label exclusive. So both of these look really cool and I'm excited to check him out. And specifically more for Frankenstein, we do also have the accessory pack from McFarlane. This is the second version that they've done because there is a gun in here that pretty much goes for Frankenstein. We have his gun, like his little revolver gun there. Of course we'll open it up and you'll see that actual gun, but he'll go specifically for Frankenstein along with his sword there. So I'm excited to check these out. So let me get them open out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So we're going to start off with Frankenstein, which pretty much has similar origins to the classic Universal monster Frankenstein, but he was created by Dr. Frankenstein using stolen body parts and the blood of an alien king named Mr. Melmoth. And just like the original Frankenstein story, he turned against Dr. Frankenstein, went on a rampage and all that, but he eventually joined up and led a counter-terrorism group named SHADE, which is Superhuman Advanced Defense Executive, which was an organization started in World War II. And eventually over time, he formed a loving relationship with a character known as the Bride. So we have the Bride of Frankenstein, and would eventually join up with the Justice League Dark until it was disbanded. So that gives us our Justice League Dark grouping here today. And so Frankenstein has a zombie physiology of superhuman strength and durability, has self-sustenance and immortal, and he's also a skilled swordsman and marksman, so that'll be in the weapons that we have. So overall, he looks relatively cool. I don't like this design too much. Like, I hate the outfit design here, which I believe I read that he stole this from one of the guards of Dr. Frankenstein's castle and stuff. So it's supposed to be, like centuries old, like, guard uniform. So that's why he has that on. Like, so I don't like that design as much with the red and the gold and stuff. Just for a Frankenstein character, don't like that too much. But for this, like, as a DC character, I think it's fine. Then he's got the long black trench coat on over it. So I like how the sleeves are ripped off, and then has a nice little piece here attached to put his sword in. And it's just a long trench coat, nice all tattered and stuff there at the bottom. Of course, it is Frankenstein. So he's got the greenish color skin with all the stitching and stuff around it. So especially there around the head, we have like sort of like a classic Frankenstein head with the big like boxy square head with the like flat top haircut, but again the stitches all around the top, and then just the old like decrepit looking face and stuff, but looks cool on this figure. Then he's got like blue jeans again, and a nice design to go along with the figure, and then the big boots that do look and fit kind of well because it's got the big like platform style boots, but then also look like a more modern like riding style boot and stuff. So look pretty cool overall with the black gloves there on his hands. So a big figure. It's hard to get him to fit into the camera here, but he does look really cool, and he's huge, so you'll see that size comparison when we put all the figures in. Overall, he looks cool. Like I said, for DC, I think it's fine, but if I was like trying to collect this as an actual Frankenstein figure, I wouldn't like this just because of his outfit design, but overall, he looks pretty cool. So let's do the movement. So his head can twist around, and probably a little difficult to twist all the way around, and look down that far and up that far, so not horrible movements. Shoulders can come up to 90 and rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist. The single elbow joint, which is real stiff on this figure, can bend to about 90 there and has the rotation. And then we get the wrist that can twist all the way around and flex on the ball joint. Yeah, you can kind of see the ball down in there, so flex back and forth. Sure, he has like an ab crunch and stuff, so you can crunch up in there and twist around at the waist. Hips can come up a little, yeah, very little. I can barely get him up, maybe 45 there, and then out to the side he should be close to doing the splits. There's a little bit of a thigh twist up in there, so that's cool, but they have the double knee joint, which the jacket's going to be kind of in the way, but we can at least get it bend up that far. Then we get the foot that can flex back and forth. It's really stiff, so it's hard to move. It can flex back and forth and twist side to side with the toe joint on the end. And one thing I like, at least he doesn't have the like ball joints or whatever in the feet, so it is going to be easier to move and hopefully to try and get him to stand up. And yeah, it is relatively easy. Of course, he's got the big clunky boots and stuff, so kind of helps him stand up a lot easier. So he don't need the base, but he does come with one as usual. And for accessories, no additional hands or anything, but he does come with the sword of Archangel Michael. So we have this awesome looking sword, nice silver blade with some nice details and stuff running through it, and then the all gold handle, so that looks cool again with the nice handle design there. So that's his sword, and again, as you saw, he does have the place on his back, so you can slide that in there and store it. But let's go ahead and put it into his hand. So there's the sword in Frankenstein's hand, and of course obviously we can pose it up. It's just really hard with the stiffness of the elbows and everything, but there you can give him the sword. So that's all that he comes with. But as I mentioned, we do have the accessory pack that has the weapon that's pretty much specifically designed for him. Of course, McFarlane at least wasn't allowed to include guns with characters, so he's made these weapons packs. so we can then take the gun out. So of course we have all these different guns in here to choose from to give the different characters. The only really ones though we have is the one that comes with this, which is designed just like Frankenstein's gun, so obviously it's for him. And then we also get like a pop gun that you can give the Harley Quinn or the Joker or whatever there. So rest of the guns don't know what to do with just yet. But with Frankenstein, we can give him his gun that's, like I said, specifically made for him. I don't think it'd be able to fit in this hand since it's kind of like a weird open grip hand like that, so we may have to get rid of his sword, so I'll probably put it in his back and then try and put the gun in this hand. So there, Frankenstein has that gun. So it is hard to get into his hand. It's a little bit hard because the McFarlane hands are always so stiff, so it's hard to get in there, but you can get it in his hand just like that. So that looks pretty cool that Frankenstein now has the gun that he has in the comics, like steam gun or whatever they call it. It's like a steampunk type gun, but looks pretty cool, and I like how it has like the bat wing for like the hammer and stuff there on the back and the nice gears and stuff sticking out of it. So that's pretty cool. So now he has the gun, and then like I said, that sword is now there in his back, so that is cool. And then we of course have his card. So there's a picture of him from the comics from 7 Soldiers of Victory. So there it kind of shows what he looks like in the comics with that outfit and everything. But on the back we have his card, so it's Frankenstein, adopted name from his creator, of course, Dr. Frankenstein. And the card says Victor Frankenstein, a young scientist, becomes obsessed with the spark of life and soon creates life of his very own. However, he's immediately disgusted by the monstrosity and abandons it. After a long pursuit and confrontation, the creature is assumed dead, but that could not be further from the truth. Now, centuries later, the creature has returned, donning his creator's name. Frankenstein fights the forces of evil as an agent of shade, superhuman advanced defense executive, as I mentioned. And of course, the whole part of this is being a part of the Justice League Dark, as the video is going to be here today. So pretty cool to have him overall. It's awesome to have Frankenstein. Awesome that we got that accessory pack just in time to add in here with Frankenstein for that gun. So overall looks cool. Like I said, it's awesome for a DC version of Frankenstein, but for a like Universal Monster version, I would hate it. But overall, I think he looks pretty cool, and it's a nice big figure. Has a lot of issues with stiffness and stuff, which is usual for McFarlane's, especially Mega Figs, but I think he does look really cool. And then we have that gold labeled Deadman, whose real name is Boston Brand, and he left his abusive family to join the circus at age 16, where he became an aerialist until he was shot by an assassin during a trapeze performance, and upon his death, he was placed in between life and death by the god Ramakrishna, and was told he needed to atone for his past transgression by bettering the life of others. So he became this character, as it's mentioned, Deadman, so he's dead, and he's wearing his outfit that he wore as the trapeze artist, which he performed as the character Deadman, and wore this all red costume with white makeup. So it pretty much just looks like how he did, performing his trapeze act, but he's now dead, so he looks more zombified, especially in the face, and the face looks ridiculous. And overall with the design, I think he looks kind of like the White Walkers, especially the Night King. He just needs some spikes on his head, but just overall has the all like wrinkly face and the all darkness around the wide eyes. Just looks pretty creepy, and then down to his more zombified skin, so it's look like, it's losing all the outer covering, so it's just like muscle. And then the all red suit, so he's got the red outfit from head to toe with the darker red boots, and then the all red body with the D for Deadman there on his chest, so it's much like Daredevil. Has this nice big high collar around his neck, and overall looks cool. Like I said, just don't like it. I think he's like a little bit too like hunched, and with this collar piece makes him look like he's hunched forward a little bit too much, and with the face design he just looks really creepy. So just a weird design in that aspect, but overall I think figure wise, looks just how I picture Deadman, so he's pretty perfect in that aspect. But with him being dead, that means he's got ghost physiology, so that means he's invisible, has intangibility, can fly, has enhanced senses, interdimensional travel, and ability of possession. So like I said, overall looks cool and fits well for Deadman. So let's do the movements. So his head can twist around. It's going to be hard to twist all the way around because of the collar piece, but it can twist around. And you can look down that far and up just pretty much straight on because of his head hitting the collar. So not the best movements because of his collar, but it's not horrible. Shoulders can come up to 90 and rotate all the way around, and you can see he's got like the butterfly joint, so a little bit of rocking back and forth. But we get the bicep twist that can twist all the way around, double elbow joint that can bend up all the way up on itself there. The wrist can twist around, and it's got the blended joint, so it can flex back and forth, but if you don't have it lined up correctly, it looks a little bit awkward and stuff. So if you line it up right, it perfectly blends in there. We have the uprap crunch, so he can crunch back and forth and twist all the way around, and then we should have a crunch at the waist, lower down at the waist, and twist around there as well. Hips can come up that far, so just under 90, and out to the side he can do the splits. A little bit of a thigh twist, not much for him. Double knee joint that bends up that that far to the back, so as far as it can go, his muscles are hitting each other. And then we get the foot that flexes back and forth with the blended joints. So again, if you get them nice lined up, they look nice, and has a twist side to side with the toe joint on the end of the foot. So not bad. It is hard to get him to stand up though, because if you have his legs perfectly straight, he's bending too far forward, so you have to bend his knees a little bit to be able to get him to stand up. But if we have too many issues, he does have the base just for stability. And he comes with some ghost effects. So first we get this effect that pops into his back and then has like this additional head or whatever coming out over the top, so it looks kind of crazy, you know, it's like a weird skull and stuff, so kind of weird. But we'll pop this into his back, so he has the peg right there in the back with the peg from this effect, so just slide it in there and get the tendrils and stuff all wrapped around him. So there's that effect on him. So like I said, it has the tendrils and stuff that sort of wrap around with that effect coming up over the top of his head, so kind of weird and creepy that he's got that. And then we have some like smoke or ghost like effects, whatever we can put onto his arms, so let's just slide him on. So there's those effects on his arms, just kind of wrap them on there however you can get him to stay on. So there's Deadman with all his effects. Don't really understand like the head up top and stuff. I know he has, you know, different effects with the ghost and all that sort of stuff, but just don't think it looks too good. But it's cool he does come with effects, you know, that add to his powers. Just don't think it looks the best. And then of course we have his card, so there's a picture of Deadman there from DC Rebirth, and around on the back, so of course real name Boston Brand, as I said. And it says circus acrobat Boston Brand, traumatized by the anger and abuse he experienced as a child, was murdered and then given a new chance on life. As Deadman, he can inhabit the bodies of the living and is always driven to atone for the selfish way he lived his life by bringing hope to the hopelessness. So there's more explanation for Deadman there. And overall, like I said, I like the design, like the body outfit design and stuff, all looks exactly like Deadman. Just don't care too much for the design of the body. I think, you know, having the issue standing him and stuff, and then the effects and things to me don't look that great. But overall, like I said, looks exactly like Deadman how I picture him, so can't really complain too much about that. So here we have Frankenstein and Deadman together. Since Deadman's normal multiverse height, you can see that compared to the height of Frankenstein there. So Frankenstein is definitely large, but now with these two, we can bring in the other Justice League Dark members we have. So there we have our Justice League Dark members. So with our Deadman and Frankenstein, we have Swamp Thing, Constantine, and Etrigan the Demon. So all of those look pretty cool. Of course, there's still tons more characters we can add in here, but those are the DC Multiverse figures we have so far of the Justice League Dark. So all of those look pretty cool being there together, but pretty awesome for these two figures of the Frankenstein Mega Fig and the Deadman figure. Both are pretty cool. I really like the Frankenstein, just like I said, just hate his outfit design. That's the only thing I hate about them, but the figure is really cool. And then the Deadman, love his outfit design, just don't like the figure. But both of them overall pretty cool. So if you want to create your own Justice League Dark, I would highly recommend both of these figures to add to them. But let me know what you thought of them down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with a thumbs up. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.